Yeah, I don't have any
Do I
bags.
want to change my number three, Rob? I don't know.
Change your number 2.
You don't like my number two?
I don't care for it.
Oh, okay.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode, a special episode of the Minecraft Disney Top 5. It's a special episode for a couple of reasons. The first, we're not going to do Top 5 this week. We're going to do Top 3. And it's going to be a Top 3 this week for a very special reason, which is that we have a third seat this week. We have a very special guest. Keith, welcome to the show.
Hello, everyone.
And you all might know Keith. You should know Keith if you're Disney fans. I certainly hope you guys know Keith. Keith, what do you do?
I am also a YouTuber, so I have my own YouTube channel, which is my name, Keith Lapinig, and that's Lapinig for that last name of mine.
Awesome. So today, Christina is of course back as well, and today the three of us, we're going to go through the parks here on MC Magic, and we're going to talk about our top 3 sounds in Walt Disney World. And by sounds, what we mean was, so no music was basically the rule I think we went by. So it could be a sound that an attraction creates intentionally. It could be a sound that's just unintentionally, naturally happens at the parks. It could be any of that. And so we're going to kick it off. Let's actually kick it off here in the Magic Kingdom with Keith's number 3.
Okay, so the first one that I have, actually, I like the Disneyland version better, which is the entrance style sound, where it goes like a little tweeting bird. But I actually do like the Fast Pass and basically the new My Magic Experience sound that when you first enter the parks, it's like a little cool robot sound, like as if it's starting up. And I don't know, I kind of like it. And I also really like it because during my first few times using this new system, it failed miserably for cast members. Like, I could not get it to work. So when it started to finally work, it was like a victory sound to me. It was just like music to my ears. I was like, oh my god, it's working. And it was just the best thing ever. And now it always works for me, so I love it.
Oh, I have not had the pleasure of being able to try the My Magic, the bands.
Yeah, neither have I.
Oh, Christine, you got to use the cards for the first time with me, and you also got to lose one of my cards.
Oh, good job, Christine.
We're not going to talk about that.
Wow.
I mean, I lost one of the cards first, and then she misplaced the second card, so basically we lost 2 cards at the same time, but it was all good.
Christine, how about we hop to your number 3? Is it here? Is it right here? Oh, wait, I already know what your number 3 is. Why am I asking like I don't know? It is here, though, right?
Yeah, yes, it is.
It's kind of here. Let's head over to where it is.
That was ominous.
All right, so here we are at Christine's number 2, which is at Pirates of the Caribbean. What's the sound, Christine? There's so many here.
3, Rob.
Your number 3. Sorry.
Out.
Sorry, we're one in. I'm already messing up.
So my number 3 sound is the cannon fire in Pirates. And it was actually the very first sound I thought of. I think because that's kind of the part of the ride where it kind of opens up from like the intro and you actually like end up in that bigger space. And you're like in the middle of that battle outside of the fort. And I don't know, I just like the sound of the cannon fire. I used to always love how the water splashes up around you, like as if it's hitting like the water next to your boat. So I think it's kind of the whole experience all together. But it's kind of like that sound that's like, yeah, I'm like in the middle of Pirates right now. Like this is happening. And I don't know. I guess I kind of always liked it.
It's funny you pick that sound. I feel like it's a pretty, I mean, not to say it almost as an insult to the sound, but it's like a pretty low fidelity sound effect. But I feel like that's what's really part of the charm of the attraction, is between like the cue music and the sound effects. It seems to be like a good look back at, you know, the attractions from earlier decades. I accidentally got on the ride. It pulled me onto the ride.
I'm lost in the dark right now.
It is so dark.
So I am
so dark in this ride on this server. I will say that. I never knew where I'm going.
I don't know where I am.
Yeah, it's
right
a pretty
now.
dark ride, but it's a great sound. There are a lot of good sound effects at this one.
Well, yeah. I mean, you know, you could say a lot of things for this ride, but it's just, I think it's because it's that first one that's like after you come through like the smaller, like, you know, intro of what's going on, and you really get into that really big space, and then it's like you hear the cannon fire. I just think that's so cool.
All right, so we're here at my number 3, which Christine wouldn't allow me to do the sound of carpets, so I had to settle for the next best thing.
Wait, why can't you do the sound of carpet?
I don't know.
There are no
She's
sounds.
so
You want
anti-carpet.
carpet.
That's exactly what somebody who doesn't appreciate the carpets at Disney would say.
Oh my god. Okay.
But I figured I would change things up anyway. This one I feel like it's the most cop-out of an answer that I had for my top 3 because I feel like it's not specific to one location. But I feel like water in Disney has an ability to have like distinct sounds to it that I just don't see anywhere else. Now, the example that I thought of that isn't on the server right now is the pools at the All-Star resorts. And I guess because they're so crowded most of the time, there's water noise, always. There's no, I can't in my mind remember a time where there has been just like a still, quiet, still sitting pool. There's always water hitting something and making noise. And for me, I feel like that's a sound that always reminds me that I'm on this Disney vacation. Because when I think of pools elsewhere, it's usually calm and, relaxing. And Disney is amazing, but very rarely can I call it calm and relaxing. So I feel like the pool's just a great way to sum that up.
That's a weird. I mean, I'm with you. I'm not discounting that. I would think if you were going to say a word, you would say something like Splash Mountain. Like, oh, the sound of like the boat hitting the water.
Oh, that's a good one.
I wouldn't expect like the pool.
That's a good one. Well, the other one I was thinking of was the sound of the water hitting that like foam pad at the leaping fountains over in Epcot.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm personally still attached to the sound of carpet.
Yeah, right?
And
Exactly.
I wish I could have heard your spiel on that.
Okay, listen,
But
I've already got it set up
Christine
because
took
look,
that away from us.
and I'm going to take it right back.
Whoa,
Listen,
whoa.
sound has this like really carpet has the ability to kill sound, right? It makes it dead sound. So really it's
Right.
not the sound of carpet, but it's the absence of sound through carpet
Oh my God.
that
This is
can
getting-
really that can really make you
See, you wanted them to not hear this?
it gives
It's
you
amazing.
Exactly. You combine that with the smell of the carpet, and the hallways of the Contemporary Resort have a distinct smell and sound that it's like a fingerprint of Disney World. You cannot replicate it anywhere else.
Next time I go to Disney, Rob, I am going to specifically go to a place with a carpet, and I'm going to think about these things,
Good.
and then I'm going to come back and tell you you're wrong.
You
So,
Value resorts though, because those need some renovation.
you need to give yourself an extra day on that vacation. It's called the Carpet Walkabout, and you need to spend the whole day just meditating on the smell and the sound of
Okay.
and the feel too. Take off your shoes, do it with socks, without socks, mix it up. You've got the whole day.
Okay, so my number 2 is kind of similar in sound to my third one, but it's essentially when you're starting up the game and you go around that disco ball, and that's when you have the startup sound where it goes like blink. Like, I love that sound because it's like, all right, game on, and now you have to start shooting everywhere. And so, I don't know, that's the one thing that I look forward to in Tomorrowland. I was that's what I know. You need to start playing right now, and it's just one of my favorite sounds.
Oh, we should clarify. We're at Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin. I forgot. We
Right,
didn't mention
sorry.
it. We're at Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin. That adds way more context. Let's see.
Yeah.
It took us a while to get in here. We were outside Buzz for a while.
I like that their new plugin just grabs me and just pulls me right, and I'm gone. Goodbye. It's also
your
really
arms were like half, and your legs were like sticking out of the cart. It was awesome. I was just gonna say I wouldn't have thought of that sounding like that is so specific. That is awesome though. I mean, I just like that is like not at all where my head was going with sounds. But
that's a great example
get
though,
it.
because it's like for a sound effect to evoke that feeling, it seems it's like that's the sound effect has done its job perfectly.
Yeah.
Oh, it is super being renovated right now. It works, but there is literally nothing in here.
I don't even know how to get on.
It wouldn't even be worth. It's like a big empty room, and I just fell off. Okay, so this is it's almost like seeing Space Mountain with the lights on, except in Minecraft, and also there's just no ride anymore. It's just gone. It's been stolen. It is It's an empty track.
just nothing. That would actually be terrifying in real life.
Imagine
Like if all of a sudden the lights came on and you realize you're on nothing.
there's just
That would
nothing
be
there. That's like a
pretty
David
bad.
Lynch movie. Jeez. Christine, it's your number 2. right? We're going to go to your number 2?
Yes,
awesome.
we have to go to Hollywood Studios.
All right. Here we are at your number 2 at Hollywood Studios. Take it away, Christine.
Sorry. So my number 2 is the sound of people screaming at the top of the Tower of Terror. This is something that I actually look forward to, and now I guess that does make me sound like I'm a terrible person. But I there's something I like about standing outside of the ride, and I think you actually get a better, you hear it better actually when you're standing near Rock and Roller Coaster, because I guess it's kind of how it's facing out, that top area. But it's basically the point where the people come up at the top, the doors open, and if you look up, you can see everybody there. And it's just the sheer and utter terror and joy that you hear in the screams of people as they're dropping. I could literally sit there and watch that for hours. I just enjoy seeing people's reactions. They can be so vastly different. Some people scream like they're getting their heads chopped off, and other people it's just they're laughing, and I don't know. The whole thing is just really cool. I think it adds to almost the fear of getting on the ride, especially if you've never done it before, because as you're approaching the ride and you're just hearing these people freaking out, it kind of freaks you out a little bit more. And maybe it does make me a terrible person that I'm enjoying people's fear, but I like it.
I don't think that makes you a horrible person.
Oh.
Because
to me, it's the central sound of Hollywood Studios.
They talk about the weenie at Disney, right? The thing that's supposed to catch your eye and draw you to it, and it feels to me, I guess it's like an audio weenie, right?
Audio weenie.
Yeah, it's an audio weenie.
I think it's funny how I interpreted the sound assignment kind of differently, where I went for a literal actual sound that Disney has made, whereas you're enjoying I agree, I love the sounds of the people screaming here too, although if I thought of this as part of what I was concentrating on, the actual ambient sounds, I probably would be an even worse person than you, because I would have put the screams of the little children when they find out how scary Stitch's Great Escape is to them.
Oh my god, Keeper's revealing dark things.
Because I don't go. No one our age goes on because Stitch is an amazing ride. Let's be honest.
Right.
But I would go on it, and I'd tell other people we need to go on it because you need to see these little kids scream when they realize how scary it is to them. That is my goal when I go on Stitch's Great Escape, not because I think it's an awesome ride.
All right. So I don't know if it's working. Let's head over to my number 2, which is, it could be multiple parts of the park. So let's head over to, I don't know, let's go to Epcot. So here we are at Epcot, but it's not really in Epcot. It's just, I chose Epcot. It's the monorails. So my second sound is a monorail related sound. It is the sound of the monorail doors closing. And now I needed to clarify this because I feel like people are going to hear different things when they hear that. I don't mean the sound of the ding or, the famous line asking you to stand clear of the doors. I mean literally the sound of the 2 doors closing is one of my favorite sounds. And I think part of that comes from, we're all lifelong, we're here in New York. We grew up in New York. We take the subway, and maybe the subway has gotten me a little bitter, but as a result, it has placed the monorail on a pedestal for me, and it's my favorite way of getting around the parks. And so everything about the monorail, including the carpets, Christine, I love it. And the way they close is it's sort of like the one door and then the other. And there's not a hydraulic sound to it, but there's sort of the sealing sound that when it closes that makes it feel like such a futuristic way of getting around. I don't know. It's a weird one, but it's part of that package that comes with all the other sounds, but it's one of my favorites.
Okay. When you first said that, I thought you meant the actual ding.
Yeah.
Of closing.
Don't get me wrong.
Probably would put the ding on my list.
The ding is good. The ding would be on an honorable mentions, but I feel like the actual doors closing just doesn't get the attention it deserves. It's so futuristic compared to next time you're on the New York City subway. Listen to that door. It's not nearly as good. It's just. I don't think there are a lot of talking points with this one. I feel like
I can't really comment.
But it is one of my favorite sounds. All right, so now we're up to the number ones, our number ones. So let's kick it off with Keith's number one, which I'm going to guess is not a monorail door closing.
No, we should warp over to World Showcase. Yeah, so my number one happens during Illuminations. And Illuminations is not even my favorite nighttime spectacular, I would say. However, I do like the opening monologue to it, and then they end it off. I forgot what the verbatim line is, where he's like, "We hope you enjoy our story of Reflections of Earth." And then all the torches are lit, and then he goes... And then, like, all the torches go out. So that sound of the blowing of the torches, one of my favorites.
That is great.
That is an awesome pick. That I did not even think of that, but that's so great.
I didn't think of that either. So it's really funny because my number one has also to do with Illuminations, but it's not that. But that is really good. Because that's the moment where all the lights go out and you're ready. You're like, oh my God, something's about to happen. Something really awesome is about to happen. And it's such a good... Yeah, that's really good, Keith.
That was a great one.
I think all of my top three have something in common where it's like, all right, it's beginning. Like Fast Pass Plus. All right, the ride's going to begin. It worked for me. Buzz Lightyear, the start of time. It's working. It's game time. And now Illuminations. All right, time for the show.
I guess we don't have to warp anywhere for your number one, Christine, because it's like right here, too.
Yes, it is. So it's also part of Illuminations, but it is not the blowing out of the countries. Is that what you would call that? The blown out.
Out of context, that kind of makes you seem like a bad person.
Actually, the sound of the very first firework that gets shot off for Illuminations, you know what I'm talking about, that single one that goes across that looks like a shooting star. Before the music all starts and everything kind of goes, and it just does that little like, and then it just like explodes and everything starts. So it's kind of the same sort of feel, Keith, except you're like 10 seconds behind mine. But it's that same idea of like, that is the first shot of the fireworks. It's starting everything off. It has that very specific like streaking noise. Everybody's eye is on it because it's the only thing up in the air at the moment. Like, that always sticks with me, and like I literally like get chills when I first see that first thing go and I like hear it. It's just like I'm so excited for like the rest of the show.
Yeah, I heard Christine get a little bit worried when I said like it's Illuminations.
I was getting so psyched up just as you were describing it. I was like, I hope they have the same, because that is what's even better is if the sound is, you know, on the top of two people's list. It's clearly a memorable sound. Yeah, I'm a fan of Iroh. Those are both really good ones. My number one is not here at all. It is over at Hollywood Studios. So I guess we're here, so we could just talk about it. So we're at my number one here. It's at Hollywood Studios. It is so when you're riding it and you get into the alien part of the attraction, that alien alarm sound that's going off on a loop is my number one favorite sound at Walt Disney World. And that seems like sort of it seems almost like a half answer, because it's not like a Disney specific sound, you know, it's a sound effect from the movies as well. But it is my favorite sound because I am terrified of that sound. And it does more, I think, on its own of immersing me into another place and another situation than I think any other effect at Disney World does. Like when you turn that corner and you're on the Nostromo and you hear that alarm sound going off, I was terrified as a kid, and I still get like a little nervous when I'm on it, because that is like a scenario that just scares me to death, and in an odd sort of, you know, torturing myself way. I love it. I just love it.
Yeah, you said that, and like, so the alien scene is my favorite scene in Great Movie Ride, and like, I feel like not a lot of people would necessarily agree with me. You know, Wizard of Oz is cool, and there's a lot of other cool stuff, but since everyone on this channel probably already knows my penchant for horror stuff is why I really love it. But like, yeah, that sound, like as soon as you turn and you hear it, because you hear it in the distance when you're coming through the scene, and so you're already like, oh crap, like this is not good. And then you pass and you see that really cool like animatronic of Sigourney Weaver, and yeah, I mean that alarm is definitely one you do not want to hear in your real life ever.
Yeah, I do. I want that world to exist where we have that alarm because it would do a better job of alarming me of something than anything else in the world.
You could always install it in your apartment.
That's true. That if I replace my smoke detector with that alarm, I will be out. Even if I'm the one in the kitchen overcooking the bacon, I will not take chances. I'll be out of there. But yeah, that's got to be my favorite. It's just, I go to Disney because I love immersing myself into these other scenarios and these situations and worlds, and it does such a great job of it, even though it's a horrifying world. All right, so there you have it. Our top 3 sounds at Walt Disney World. Keith, thank you for joining me. This was really fun.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, if people want to see more of you, because you have a YouTube channel yourself, and it is a very Disney focused, and they're awesome videos, how can they find them?
So my YouTube is my entire name, Keith Lapinig, KeithLapinig. I do a lot of vacation videos. I do trivia videos. I do now 3D printing videos where I make replicas of Disney objects. I'm also on Twitter and Instagram and basically Facebook, and it's always going to be Keith Lapinig as my username.
Yep.
So at Keith Lapinig, Twitter, at Keith Lapinig, Instagram. And I love chatting with you guys, so definitely subscribe.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll also have an annotation up on the video, and if you guys might have seen it because I noticed it's been making the rounds, but like you 3D printed Hero's armor from Big Hero 6.
Yeah, that took 3 months to make, and Christine got to see it in person.
I did.
And I'm actually going to be giving it to Ryan Potter, the voice of Hero. I'm going to make my own again because he asked for it when I got to meet him. He was like, "Can you make me one for me?" And I was like, "Oh my god, it took 3 months to make." But when the voice actor of your favorite Disney character asks you for a replica of his suit, you give him that suit.
Yeah, how do you say no?
Yeah, you make your own after you've given it to him. So after I'm done with this suit, I have like one more place to visit with it, and then I'm gonna ship it off to him.
Oh, that's awesome. And Christine,
I can't follow that at all. I'm not shipping.
What have you 3D printed
sort of
recently, Christine?
So, you guys can find me on Twitter at Big Bruin Evil. You can also check out a fashion blog I run called 2girls1outfit.com. I've actually had a lot of people follow me on Twitter and chat me since I've been on this channel. It's been really cool. So, feel free to reach out to me.
Awesome. And you can find me, well, you're watching the video, so you know exactly how you can find me. Keith, Christine, I want to thank you guys again. This was a whole lot of fun. I want to thank everybody for watching. Whatever you're doing this week, make the most of it. Makes it so much better. And I hope to see you all next time for the next episode of the Minecraft Disney Top 5. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
And then it'd be Warp GMR.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to know, but